Hello and welcome, my book friends. And this video is going to be a wrap up of all of the books that I have read in January, February, and March. Sorry, my voice is a little bit rough. I thought that I would have read more books, but a lot of the books that I have read have been very, very chunky and part of a bigger series. So I still think that I have read a lot. Definitely many pages, but just not that many books. Anyways, let's get into it. I think that I have had a pretty good reading year so far, so yeah, I'm quite happy about that. But I do have two 3 stars, and let's start with the first one. And it's called The Safekeep by Yael van der Wouden. And this is a Dutch book. I have a goal that I do want to read a translated book every month, a book from a non-native English-speaking author. But I have only read 2 so far, so I am 1 behind. It's still my goal to get through 12 translated books this year. Anyways, like I said, this is a Dutch book, and the story takes place in the Netherlands right after the Second World War, and you kind of like follow the repercussions of the Second World War. Isabel is living in this big house alone. Isabel's mom lended this house from Isabel's uncle. Now the mom has passed away, and Isabel has 2 brothers. And the uncle is like, "You're a woman, you cannot inherit this house. This house is going to one of your brothers." But she's the only one living in it, so that's quite unfair. Her brothers wants nothing to do with this old house on the countryside. You know, they are big city boys. So they are so kind that they let Isabel live there. But then one day, one of her older brothers is coming home and he's like, this is my new girlfriend and she's going to live with you because I said so. And I'm going away on a business trip, and then when I'm coming back, I will pick her up or whatever. Isabel is a little bit mad, okay? Uh, and Isabel doesn't really have the best social skills. I think there's some neurodivergency going on there, and the author actually did capture that pretty well, I would say. But anyways, Ava is going to live with Isabel. It actually gets a little bit steamy, hot and steamy, but I don't want to spoil much. I just wanted to say that there's so much going on beneath the lines, beneath what's being said, and there's a mystery going on there. But the mystery, obviously, it gets revealed at the last part of the book, but I just wish that was revealed before, because that part was really good. But the story leading up to that was a little bit dragged out, a little bit boring, I would say. So the last part of the book was really interesting, and up until then, it took me a long time to finish this book. I learned some new things about history, but this book definitely has that classic vibe where this book would be so good to do a whole lot of analyzing on, but I don't know if that's my style. And I will say also a lot of the characters' lines in the book, they were just so abrupt. And abrupt, is that how you say it? Abrupt? Short and a little bit out of line. Sorry. Just not very realistic, I guess. Yeah, I didn't really love the writing style that much. Yeah, so it's only going to be a 3-star. And the next book is also a 3-star, and that's Recursion by Blake Crouch. I read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and I loved Dark Matter. I think that was a 4-star for me. And Recursion, like I said, is going to be a 3-star. There's a lot of time traveling in this, and it's a sci-fi thriller. That is usually what Blake Crouch is writing, I think. I usually do love time traveling. That's one of my favorite themes, but in this one, it felt a little bit flat. You have this false memory syndrome going on, where a lot of people are just suddenly remembering lives that they actually have not lived, but they can just remember entire new lives, which is a little bit weird. So this detective is investigating that, and then you also follow this scientist who is trying to cure dementia. I think not Alzheimer's, dementia, I think. And somehow they end up working together. There are definitely a lot of interesting things going on, and the concept overall is right up my alley, but I just think that it was a bit too much, that this story wanted to do so much. Again, it fell a little bit flat for me. And I just think there was too much of like, then this happened, then this happened, and then this big thing happened, and then this big thing happened. And yeah, it was too much for me. And again, it did take me quite a while to finish this book. And I think that also tells me something, like how fast I'm finishing the books. So this book is only going to be a 3-star. I could see other people loving this kind of book, but for me, I needed, I don't know, a bit more bonding with the characters, a bit more, I don't know, but yeah. Okay, so let's move on to my 4 stars. And the first one is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I'm trying to read all of her books. And this is a romance book, and it's very cute. I was very moved by it. You do follow Emma, and Emma has a fiance, Sam. And then one day she gets a call from her late husband, her dead husband. So apparently he was not dead. Jesse is his name. And now Emma has to navigate having a fiance and a husband. That is a little bit weird. Yeah, there's obviously a lot of drama going on in this book, but still it wasn't, too much. I was moved by it. I love the romance parts of this romance book. You do also follow Emma and Jesse's story before, and you also follow Emma and Sam's story, and the way it all comes together. I really like that. If you are into romance books, this one I would definitely pick up. I cannot wait to try Atmosphere as well by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think that book is going to be amazing. I don't know if that's going to be a romance book, but I just think a lot of her books are just very, very good. Not all of them are 4 or 5 stars for me, but a lot of them. So yeah, I have to read everything from her. Then I have another 4-star and another translated book, and it's called I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. And this is a French book translated into English. This is very popular right now, and I think this is going to turn into a classic. I think it's a bit of a shame that the author died, before this book became so popular. Yeah, that is sad. But anyways, you do follow this group of women who has been kept underground in a cage for a very long time, and they don't know why. And then one day they get released. I don't want to spoil much more than that, but my recommendation would be to keep on reading, because for me it got really, really interesting when they got released. It was a little bit slow before that point for me, I guess. I had a hard time to get into it, but the second part of this book is so, so good, and it was so eerie, and I did not expect the dystopian vibes. I did not expect any of it. And that was so surprising, and I can definitely see this turning into a classic, because there's so much going on in this book, and it's such a little cutie book, So yeah, I would definitely recommend this. And there's also so many themes explored, and yeah, go read it. It's a 4-star. It's a bit weird, and keep on reading, I would say. Then I have the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas, and I actually did start the first book, and then she announced that the 6th book in the Acta series is coming out, and I was like, okay. I'm very happy about that. It's coming out this year, and also the 7th book in the series is coming out in 2027, I think, or at the end of 2026. But anyways, could she have had a more perfect timing? No. And then there's a crossover in the Crescent City series to the Acta series. I didn't know that. I had just heard that they might be a little bit connected. I mean, the Throne of Glass series, there's 5 lines where the books are connected, But the Crescent City series and the Acta series, they are really connected in book 3. I hope I'm not spoiling anything. I don't think I'm spoiling anything. Perfect timing for me to start this series. Anyways, it's very different from the Acta series. This is my favorite fantasy, romantasy series. The yearning, the romance, everything is just really good. The Crescent City series, that is a urban fantasy series, and I think it's called Urban, right? And I was a bit surprised by that. I thought it would be more of a classic fantasy settings, but it wasn't. It's just really weird going into a book and expecting something completely different. The first two books are going to be a 4-star, and then the last book is going to be a 4.5. They are not as good as the Akita series, but they're not bad. I'm just saying that the series is a 5-star. Like, it's so good. But still, go read it if you're into this universe. And in this series, you do follow Bryce, and she is a half fae and half human. She is looked a little bit down upon because she is not a real fae. I don't want to spoil much because there's a big plot twist right at the beginning of the book. I will say the romance part of the Crescent City series is not as good as the Akita series. All of the guys are getting green flags, so that's pretty good. That's very important. I'm just saying that the yearning is just so good in the Akita series. You do follow multiple characters, and I will just say that some of the other characters' romances I just enjoy a lot more than Bryce's. I don't know. I still have 8 hours left of the last audiobook. I listen to them as audiobooks, and each audiobook is around 28 hours long, so it's taking me a long while to get through them. And I think that's why I haven't finished that many books, because it's taking me a while. But anyways, go read it if you're into Sarah J. Maas's books. Then I have another romantasy series, and it's One Dark Window by Racel Gillic, and I think I have 10 pages left of this book. And then I have the second book in the series right here, Two Twisted Crowns. This is a duology. Also romantasy. You know I do love romantasy. The writing style in this one is very fairy tale-like. Maybe a bit like Naomi Novik's writing. Not exactly, but yeah, kinda. And also if you like Divine Rivals, Rebecca, what's her name? I cannot remember. Anyways, in this one you do follow Elspeth. Elspeth got infected with the infection. If you get infected by this scary infection, you get some magical powers, and that's why people are really scared of those kids who gets infected, and they get taken away, and stuff is happening to them, I guess. But Elspeth's father is hiding her, and now she has a monster living inside of her. And you also have this very unique magical card system in this world where you have a lot of cards that will give you magical powers. I don't want to spoil much more, but I do like the magical system. I do like this. There's a monster living inside of her thing. It's going to be a 4 or 4.5 star for me. It's not a big story, a big epic story, and also it's only going to be a duology. But I'm hoping that book 2 blow my mind and be a 5-star. I would definitely recommend it if you love romantasy. This is a great series, I think, but I haven't read the second book yet. But if you like romantasy, I think this is good. Then let's move on to my 5 stars. I read the Empyrean series, the Fourth Wing series. Fourth Wing, Onyx Flame, and Onyx Dawn. I have Fourth Wing as a book, and then I listened to Onyx Flame and Onyx Dawn as audiobooks. And I think they were also around 28 hours long. So this series is also quite big, and it took me a while to get through, but I just felt like I was listening, reading so much every day because this book was so exciting and I loved it so much. This is right up my alley. I was a little bit scared going into this because I have heard so many negative things. I don't know why, but I think this book is so popular, and with that comes a lot of hate. But I don't know why I have only seen all of the hate instead of all of the people that are really loving the series, because now all I see is people loving this series on Book Talk and BookTube and whatnot. So good. If you love romantasy, co-read this one. This is good. Good. You do follow Violet. In this world, you have to sign up for, it's not military duty overall. I don't know what you call it then. Anyways, Violet thought that she was going to be in the scribe quadrants. She always thought her entire life that that's where she was supposed to go. But her mother is a dragon rider and she is a big general. And then suddenly she is like, you are going to the Dragon Rider Academy instead. And Violet is like, I am tiny, I am weak, I'm gonna die there. Because at the Dragon Rider Academy, a lot of these students are dying. And they just see it as a natural selection path. Like, let's get rid of all of the weak people, so we only have the strongest ones left, and there's a lot of tests that they have to go through, and a lot of the students are dying in these tests, and that's just how it is. No one is sad about it. So Violet is obviously very scared to go to this place. And she also has some natural enemies because her mom killed a lot of the rebellious people in this world, and all of the rebellion's kids were sent to the Dragon Rider Academy as a punishment. And Satan is one of them, and he's this very big, popular dragon rider. So they are enemies, you know, but no. Yeah, I love the romance in this one. I really did, but I also just really love the dragons and the world building and the war that's going on. I just loved everything about it. There are so many hints here and there. It's not a straightforward book, you know. Sometimes you're a little bit confused, and I really love that about this. And I think I'm going to reread the entire series when the next book is coming out, because I think I missed something in the other books. You know, with the safe keep, where I said that there was something going on between the lines and it was just a bit too much. With this one, it's different and it really works. The only thing is this series is not finished. And I hate that, but that's how it is. I got my husband to read this series as well because I was like, try it. He actually did enjoy it as well. So I'm just saying, romantasy is just really good fantasy, you know, also for men. So that is my reading wrap up. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. It took me a little while to do this because I just got a new phone because the other phone was out of what you call it, space. I have so many videos of my daughter, and yeah, I needed to update my phone because I did not have a single ounce of space left on that phone. So I upgraded it, but I couldn't film anything for a week, I think. But yeah, I got it 2 days ago, and now I'm making this video. So yes, I hope to see you in another video. And did you read any 5 stars? Let me know. Take care.